John Wick Chapter 2 was released in 2017, with Keanu Reeves returning as the iconic assassin. With the success of the first film, there was little doubt we'd see a sequel, and John Wick Chapter 2 doesn't disappoint, building on the formula that worked so well in the first film. The film builds on the stylized John Wick universe, which has its own set of rules and codes of conduct that govern the interactions and operations within the criminal underworld and the secret society of assassins. The first key rule we learn in Chapter 2 involves the marker system. A marker is a physical token of a blood oath between two individuals. When one person assists another in a task that would have been impossible to complete alone, the recipient of the aid owes the giver a marker, symbolizing a debt that must be repaid when the holder of the marker decides to cash it in. The rules dictate that the debt must be honored, no matter what is asked, emphasizing the weight and seriousness of such pacts within this world. The story of Chapter 2 picks up several hours after the events of the first film. John wants to leave his life as an assassin, but his plans are disrupted when he's visited by Santino D'Antonio, a powerful crime lord. Santino comes to collect on a marker that John once made to him in exchange for his help in completing an impossible task that allowed John to retire from his hitman life. Despite John's initial refusal, Santino tries to force his hand by destroying John's house. John consults with Winston, again played by Ian McShane, the owner of the Continental Hotel, who explains how John has no choice but to honor the oath he took under the marker. But naturally, there will be repercussions for Santino in forcing John's hand, as Winston explains to him in the clip at the top of this video. We also get introduced to the concept of the High Table, a council composed of the leaders of the most powerful crime organizations in the world. The High Table dictates the major rules and oversees their enforcement. It represents the highest authority in the criminal underworld, and its members wield considerable power and influence. In collecting his marker from John, Santino demands that John assassinate his sister, Gianna, so that Santino can take her seat at the High Table. Finally, we have the notion of excommunicado. In the first film, we learn how the Continental Hotel is a neutral zone for members of the criminal underworld. The rules strictly forbid any business on its premises. Breaking this rule, as John does in this film, results in severe penalties, including being declared excommunicado, which means losing all access and privileges to the underworld's resources and protections. The action in Part 2 lives up to all the expectations we have following the first film, as John navigates Rome and then New York City. In Rome, we have a series of scenes with John preparing for his job after checking into the Continental Hotel in the Eternal City, ordering custom suits with body armor and a ridiculous cache of guns and ammo. After John travels to Rome and successfully kills Gianna while fighting off a small army of gunmen, his actions set off a chain reaction of events that put a bounty on his head and force him to fight for his life against an army of assassins. Along the way, he receives help from old friends and allies, including Winston and the Bowery King, played here by Lawrence Fishburne. He's the ruler of the criminal underworld in New York City. But John's decision to ultimately break the rules puts him in a predicament where even his powerful friends can't help him. The film ends with John on the run, hunted by every assassin in the world, setting the stage for another installment in the franchise. The filmmakers have a very clear formula here, and they build on it as opposed to straying from it. The complex and stylized world of John Wick is expanded in this film, and we get more of the sleek and stylish cinematography with a strong use of color, lighting, and framing to enhance the mood and action. The aesthetic is both gritty and glamorous. Chapter 2 also continues with the well-choreographed action sequences. These scenes are known for their long takes and minimal use of CGI. We get more of gun fu, the stylized form of gunplay that resembles martial arts, among the many visually stunning scenes. The formula helped build on the success of the first film. Both audiences and critics liked the film, and Chapter 2 grossed over $90 million worldwide in its first 9 days of release, surpassing the entire theatrical gross of the first film. So grab your popcorn and enjoy the ride as John Wick navigates his way through this crazy world, and get ready for the next chapter.